Well, the Spokane County Fairgrounds coronavirus drive-through testing site will not be closing. Those testing sites will soon be expanding in Spokane County to help get a much better understanding of exactly how many people actually have the virus here in our community. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here with us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. We want to get right to our top story, which is the Fairgrounds drive-through testing site not closing after all. Health Officer Dr. Bob Lutz recently announced that testing site would close on Thursday. Now, though, he says extra help is on the way to keep it open.
And I am pleased to say that that site will actually stay in place. We're looking at having the National Guard support that site over the next few weeks.
So Providence, Multicare, and Chaz clinics also are going to start offering screenings for symptoms of the coronavirus. Dr. Lutz says with more testing sites, we'll be able to get a much better understanding of the actual viral infection numbers here in our community. Testing at those clinics will begin on May 1st. And as the coronavirus continues to spread, cases in one part of north central Idaho are especially troubling. Nez Perce County has one of the highest death counts in the state. Now, at last check, the county had fewer positive cases than the rest of North Idaho, but had 15 deaths. That compares to no deaths at all in Idaho's 5 northern counties. Now, KREM 2's Taylor Vito tried to get answers tonight.
Conversation with her.
This would be the very last photo Martha Ellis ever took with her mom. Her mother, 75-year-old Marcia Ellis, was a resident at the Life Care Center nursing home in Lewiston. And up until recently, Martha said her mom was doing just fine despite some existing health issues. But then that changed.
But I started hearing her cough.
Her mom's cough wouldn't go away, and Life Care Center staff told her that coronavirus cases were being reported at the building.
The nurse wouldn't tell me a lot. They finally told me that she hasn't been tested, but they know that it was in the facility.
Ellis says from there, it wasn't gradual at all. Her mom was eventually put on morphine, Ellis says, before passing away from the virus earlier this month.
But it does show on the death certificate that COVID-19.
Ellis believes a coronavirus test was performed on her mother during her autopsy. Sadly, Marcia Ellis hasn't been the only person in Nez Perce County to die because of the virus. State data shows 15 people have died in the county out of 50 cases. But here's the thing, compare that to 64 cases in the rest of North Idaho and no deaths. Additionally, Ada County, Idaho's most populated county, has reported 15 deaths as well. So why so many fatal cases in Nez Perce County? I tried to get answers from both the local health district and the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. Neither immediately returned my calls, though. Public health officials in Lewiston had previously said that in their district, however, there's a higher percentage of people over the age of 65 compared to other parts of Idaho. The local paper reported that 2 other Life Care Center residents have died due to coronavirus cases as well. When I contacted Life Care Tuesday morning and asked for comment, an employee provided me with a Georgia area code phone number for a spokesperson. I'm still waiting to hear back, though. The center did confirm with the local paper earlier this month that 8 residents had tested positive and 1 had died. 11 employees had tested positive, too. While Martha Ellis knows she's not the only person to lose a loved one to coronavirus in Lewiston, her mom's death has still been hard to process. She wants everyone else to know that the virus is serious and shouldn't be taken lightly.
It wasn't gradual. She wasn't ready to go.
Taylor Vito, KREM 2 News.
Over on the west side of Washington, staff at Western State Hospital claimed that virus testing conducted there isn't safe. Employees at that psychiatric hospital say they were crowded into a small space where few were wearing masks and told to swirl a swab inside their noses. The problem is that method is meant only for people who are actually showing symptoms of coronavirus. The staffers said none of them did. They claim it's just another failure to protect staff and patients at the state hospital. That facility is the state's largest psychiatric facility, but it does have a history of lawsuits and even lost its federal funding after multiple investigations over the last few years. New this afternoon, if you experience COVID-like symptoms, would you seek out health care? Turns out 1 in every 7 Americans says no, that they would avoid seeking health care for a fever or a dry cough because of their concerns about ability to pay for it. That's according to an ongoing study by Gallup and West Health. So of those Americans, adults under 30, those who are non-white, and those with a high school education or less, as well as incomes under $40,000 a year, all of those groups say they would tend to not seek out care because of cost concerns. At the White House today, President Trump says he has plans to sign an executive order aimed at securing the meat supply. The president says that executive order will free up the entire system.
But with the meatpacking and with the transportation, we have had some difficulty where they're having a liability that's really unfair to them.
So the order will use the Defense Production Act to classify meat processing as critical infrastructure. That's to keep those production plants open. This comes after workers at major facilities all across the country tested positive for the coronavirus. Industry leaders then warned that consumers could see meat shortages in a matter of days. 2 of the nation's biggest pork processing plants are currently closed. And closer to home, a Tyson meat plant in Walla Walla announced it is temporarily closing after at least 100 coronavirus cases were connected to that one facility. After weeks of enjoying nature closer to home, Washingtonians will soon be able to explore backyards and natural areas and state parks as well. Governor Jay Inslee will reopen certain outdoor recreation activities on May 5th, but that doesn't mean that everything just goes back to normal. So here are some updated hiking guidelines from the Washington Trails Association for you to follow once you actually get outside. Physical distancing is going to be key. Even outside, you have to maintain that 6-foot distance between you and other hikers. And if you can't, pick another trail. Passing on the trails, if you do come across other folks, do your best again to maintain that social distance. Also, assume for now that all trailhead facilities will be closed. And with that in mind, you're going to need to go to the bathroom before you actually head outside. And remember, if you pack it in, food, water bottles, whatnot, you're going to have to pack it out. And last, do your best to stay local. Stick to the parks that you can access in a day. And remember to keep your rural communities safe as well. But it is certainly getting to be beautiful outside. It makes everyone want to get outside as much as possible. A very windy start to the week, but today the sunshine came back, not nearly as breezy. Tom Sherry is joining us now from home, and just a gorgeous day to get outside.
Oh my gosh, what a beautiful day today. High temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. Plenty of sunshine this morning. It really was a great day to be out and about. We go over to the KREM 2 remote weather window and we show you that high clouds now have moved in. This is exactly what we talked about last night. So let's do an official observation, and you can see again the high clouds out there. As you mentioned, Whitney, not much in the wind department, just a very light breeze going on right now. We take a look at the satellite and radar picture. Look at all of the rain that is showing up over on the west side of the state. That's what is possibly headed our way. We think we might get a chance of a few showers by maybe late tomorrow night, and then especially as we get more into the weekend. So you can see lots of rain moving into Vancouver Island, northwestern Washington, and then on up into British Columbia. Here's a look at your day planner forecast. Increasing clouds this evening, mostly cloudy overnight, mostly cloudy tomorrow, but a daytime high of 75 degrees. That's what we're going to see on Wednesday. The average high for this time of year is 61. Fast forwarding to the weekend, it will be very warm on Saturday with a chance of rain showers or thunderstorms late in the day or into the evening, and then cloudy skies, cooler weather, windy on Sunday, and a daytime high of 61. I'll check your 7-day forecast coming up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. All right, we are continuing to answer some of your top questions about money during this coronavirus pandemic. One frequent question we have been getting a lot is, will the extra $600 in stimulus money be taxed? All right, let's break it down for you. So right now, we know that the federal stimulus check is not taxable. However, that extra $600 for federal unemployment is taxed. That's because unemployment money is considered taxable income. However, you can choose to withhold the federal taxes. That flat tax rate is 10%. And since there's no state income tax in Washington, that $600 becomes $540. The money also does get reported to the IRS, so you will get a 1099-G form. You're going to have to fill that out for your tax returns. And since it is taxable income, it could impact any assistance that you receive from the government, like a health subsidy. Medicaid and CHIPS recipients, though, are exempt.
If you have not received it yet, please go to irs.gov, get my payment. We made some corrections to the website over the weekend. Please go on and check your payment.
That is Secretary of the Treasury Steven Mnuchin, who says they are close to 120 million direct deposit checks for those economic payments. And just a reminder, as he said, if you haven't received your money yet, you need to go to the website, the irs.gov/coronavirus, to check the status on your payment. Nationwide, a reported 42% of Americans say they are now working from home. That's according to a CNBC survey, which means that people are using a lot more electricity at home. So we've got some tips now to help you save a little money when your next energy bill comes around. First, set your temperature on your thermostat for 68 degrees. According to Energy Star, that is the ideal balance of energy efficiency. Also, if you can, swap out your light bulbs for CFLs or LEDs. Those require less wattage, which is why LEDs are more energy efficient and also can last longer. And if you have a ceiling fan, your room can get to be a little bit warmer, so run it in a counterclockwise direction. That's going to pull the cold air up and push the warm air down. All right, the Coeur d'Alene Tribal Council appointed a task force to plan for the phased reopening of the reservations and tribal entities. This comes after the casino reopened some of its restaurants on Monday. The tribe says that you can expect to see some changes, though, throughout the casino. Those will include social distancing measures. That also means reduced and distanced seating at all restaurants and lounges. Every other gaming machine is going to be turned off. That's to make sure that you can't get any closer to other people. Also, plexiglass barriers are going to be installed in key locations all around the property. Face masks or some kind of face covering is going to be required for everyone on casino property. The casino will close every day from 3 to 7 a.m. That's for deep cleaning. However, concerts and events are now rescheduled until further notice. So during this pandemic, nonprofits have been seeing an increased demand for food donations. Second Harvest in Spokane is one of them, and they are distributing about $1 million worth of food every single week. So now we want to give you an update on how you can benefit from their services.
The emergency response team for Second Harvest is working hard to implement policies and take action that will help keep our community safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. I spoke with the Chief of Staff, Drew Muir, about the increase in demand for food.
Before this all began, we estimated we served 55,000 people every week, and we know that that number is only growing as the unemployment numbers continue to skyrocket to historic levels, and we are seeing at our distribution points far more people than we ever would expect during a normal year. On Saturday, for example, we served nearly 700 families right here from our warehouse over a 5-hour period, and we served about the same number in Sunnyside, Washington. So it's just, the need is really expanding very, very quickly.
When the coronavirus wasn't happening, how many families do you usually serve?
We would not normally be serving on Saturdays. Our mobile markets were typically Monday through Friday. We've transitioned to a 7-day-a-week schedule. We have 38 members of the National Guard in our facility repackaging food nearly every day, and also helping prepare it for distribution. And that's alongside of our regular volunteers and staff.
How are you reaching people to let them know where to get the resources?
Our website is kept up to date and things are changing really fast, but to-harvest.org, click on I Need Food, and that'll drop you into a list of mobile markets as well as a pantry in your neighborhood.
If you would like to volunteer and you fall under the CDC's category of not at risk, opportunities can be found on their website.
There's a mixture of packaging activities, so either assembling produce, dry or frozen kits of food, repackaging bulk food items, and there's also support for our distribution activities, including partnerships with organizations like the Spokane Food Fighters, and actually volunteering with our mobile market to go out and distribute food to families in need.
Well, Second Harvest does have food pantries, meal sites, and community partners that are open every day, and they're there for helping. So if you would like a list of locations sent directly to your phone, all you have to do is text the word food right there to 509-448-2000. All right, still ahead tonight, global airline revenues are expected to plunge by $314 billion by the end of this year. So we're going to hear from Boeing's CEO on the future of flights next. But before we go, we want to quickly give a shout out to this young lady, Mackenzie Walker, a senior at Meade High School. We love giving a shout out to all of our spectacular seniors out there, so please send in your photos. We know that this senior year has been unlike any other in history. So text 2020 to 509-448-2000 and we'll send you a link to submit your seniors. We'll be right back.